Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 6 Japanese destroyer Hatsuharu. She has 11,700 health, a top speed of 36.5 knots, 4 127mm guns, 6 torpedoes, a surface detect of 5.8 kilometers, and 37 AA defense rating. For my modules, reduce crit chance on main armament, improved aiming accuracy, reduce the chance of flood and fire, improved acceleration. For my commander, basic firing training, basic survivability, expert marksman, last stand, superintendent, advanced firing training, and concealment. We're on the map Trident, and we're looking at this ship. I know many of you have been stuck trying to play it to unlock the alternative Tier 6 Japanese destroyer, Hatsuharu. And you were so excited. I get to get a Tier 7 that has a torpedo rearm that doesn't cause me to subtract the smoke module. Oh, it's gonna work out so good. And then you realized, I gotta play the Hatsuharu again from scratch. And a lot of people didn't like what they saw. It's basically a worse Fubuki. It only has 6 torpedoes with 3 launchers each, 2 3 launchers, whereas the Fubuki has 9 with 3 launchers, 3 launchers. I know the numbers, man, but you're down 3 torpedoes right off the bat. The rearm, not very good. Same range, same type of torpedoes. They're pretty slow. So you just give up a lot for slightly better rate of fire, really effective AA. Who cares? It's a Japanese destroyer that doesn't have defensive fire. You come out at the other end going, you know what? I don't really feel like they gained anything from moving this to Tier 6 versus Tier 7. It's just not a good ship. I can't really describe it any other way. And it also needs advanced firing training if you're going to try and take advantage of the improved rate of fire. I mean, it's not improved. It's so minor compared to the Fubuki that you're not going to notice it. But we sent our torpedoes towards an enemy cruiser, and it looked like he was going to go left to right, back towards the center. And it appears that the prediction is working out. So how many are we going to hit? We hit 1, cause a flood, and it does over 50% of his life. He's going to have to put it out. He is susceptible to a follow-up fire or flood from a torpedo, which we know that's not going to happen. My torpedoes are almost ready to go, and I was considering using them, or at least using the guns, against the Arpeggio. I've mentioned that you can't ignore your guns anymore. It's just a more significant percentage of your damage. You should make use of it. I'm going to try and help the Königsberg. I also want to try and consider giving him some smoke, because he is out in the open. He has his whole side just broad to the enemy, and as I get close to drop the smoke, he dies to a broadside from the Warspite. So I'm not going to just waste this smoke that I was intending to use for a friend. I'm going to try and fire at the enemy, and we're not going to do a lot of damage. Maybe we can set him on fire. Maybe we can get lucky. He does take torpedoes from a friendly, and I see that there are torpedoes incoming, so I need to be careful, and we're trying to get out of the way. Faster, Notser, faster. It's just one of those things. The Japanese destroyers, mid-tier, are underpowered. They're all using the same slow 59-knot, 10-kilometer range torpedoes that are just so easy to spot. I have read some people suggest, why don't you use the speed boost on torpedoes? It is a viable strategy. It will make them feel better. You don't really need 10 kilometers. You're pretty much going to have to get used to 8-kilometer range torpedoes from tiers 8, 9, and 10. Yes. Oh, you have 20-kilometer. You got to get used to the 8. You use F3 a lot. And it's going to shrink down but speed up. Most people just can't do it. I read comments, this is like a 15 or 20 commander. Nobody has that. You're absolutely right. You cannot have expert marksman. You must have last stand your first go round. So you're basically going to have basic firing training, last stand, superintendent, advanced firing training, and maybe concealment. That's about it. I've got the best of the best of the best to make this ship viable. And it still just feels so clunky. It's just not fun to play. People are better. This isn't a world where people just sail in a single direction. Don't change it at all. Take all the torpedoes. That day is long gone. The player base is more informed. People have more tools to spot out torpedoes. Hydroacoustic. Smoke is prevalent. You basically are stuck sending your torpedoes at smoke, and I surprisingly get a lot of hits on smoke. People just don't recognize that you are telling everyone where you are. Plus, the last known position is honestly slightly broken in a smoke scenario because it's saying, unless he does anything to move, I know exactly where that target is. Either it's a cruiser or a battleship or whatever. And that is where torpedoes probably are more successful than they want them to be. But really, you can't punish people who play these boats with the idea that, oh no, they're just too easy to use. Maybe people are just dumb. Okay, maybe people are just dumb. Now, the western flank was completely open. I decided to push on into the enemy aircraft carrier. Aircraft carriers are very effective against destroyers. So I'm going to try and take them out of the fight. Now, some would say, use HE, set them on fire, Notser, do lots of damage. Others would say, AP all the way, Citadel his butt and get him done. I fall under AP. I think the shells are effective enough, 127mm guns, to do just that, and we get a Citadel with the first one. I also sent my torpedoes with the hopes that I'll hit them. Now you might notice where I'm hitting. I'm trying to hit just below the engine. Roughly. The Japanese are slightly weird because they have their engines like on one side, the exhaust, so you can't really tell. Obviously AP is terrible on the deck and whenever they're angled, either bow or stern on. So you might have to switch between HE and AP whenever the enemy carrier avoids or angles from your ship. Now our torpedoes didn't work, unfortunately. The enemy team is trying to stop me. Well, try and stop me. It's something you need to do. If I don't get citadels, then AP is not worth it, so we have to drop. Yes, there we go. Sorry. You shouldn't really get so excited, but I mean, come on. 4 citadels. You saw where I aimed. He's going to angle away, and he's going to try and avoid. I expected the angle away, so I sent at his ship roughly. Because he's going to be somewhere between the position he's at now and that island. And the torpedoes might hit him. I do have an emerald on me. And British cruisers are very good at killing destroyers. You might not have noticed that too. It's kind of scary to have them. This is an interesting little setup we have. The British cruisers and the Japanese destroyers coming out at the same time. They are mortal enemies as far as I'm concerned. And anytime you see a Brit, you need to run. Be very careful. And I am ignoring all the signs just so I can kill this stupid, and we actually citadel him with HE, just so we can kill this stupid aircraft carrier. Come on. Die already. Finally he dies. He tries to send his torpedoes with his squadron, but it doesn't work out. The Emerald is just outside of the auto detect range, which is about 2.5. So I pop my smoke, and I run away. As long as the aircraft are in the air, I am still detected. We have to drop off our concealment. Once it's done that, I am no longer detected. And I'm going to give ground. The Emerald is completely naked, which is just so abhorrent. You must use a camo. You can't be ugly. You have to use something beautiful. Oh, by the way, just so everyone knows, Wargaming's on to you and your Japanese premium camouflage. If you got it and you didn't pay for it, they're going to take it away. I was one of those people who got camo and I didn't deserve it. Apparently it's some bug. I don't know what bug it is, but they're going to take it away. So enjoy it while it lasts. Get through the Hatsuharu. Whatever you do, get through it. Just deal with it. Our torpedoes are not going to hit any target. I'm just trying to give ground to the Emerald. I think this is pretty obvious play. I've got to be outside of 5.8. He is just fast enough. If he goes directly at me and I'm not going directly away from him, he can catch up. And I'm not going to fire my gun. Oh no, I'm not falling for that one. Enemy Farragut is going to fire his gun. Good luck with that. So one of the weaknesses of the Japanese, and I really wish they would have addressed it more completely, is the range of the guns. And the reason the range is so terrible is because they are terrified by stealth firing. It's just very terrifying. You see a ship, you just see shells coming out of the water, and you have no idea what's going on. And some of you might be going, well, why would they make such a critically important balance decision based on some mechanic? I don't know. It feels really bad. It feels really crappy if you don't have advanced firing training on a lot of these ships. Now, that's not true for all of them. But if you have less than 10-kilometer range gun systems, it's like you're right on top of the enemy. And I sent my torpedoes towards the Emerald, and he's going to be able to fit his little Emerald self in between it. Still giving ground, barely not detected. And I have a friendly that I'm basically meeting up with. Hopefully, he'll be able to engage him. Enemy New Mexico is in the center, taking fire from a friendly. I, however, cannot fire my gun. I don't have smoke to protect myself. And the British cruiser line is basically the counter to destroyers. They will kill you very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. If you enjoy killing destroyers, by all means, play the Brits. But since the Emerald looked like he pulled off, I decided to fire, and of course the Farragut is shadowing me. The only solution, pop your smoke. He's gonna outbrawl me. His gun systems are more impactful than mine. It's easier for him to do whatever he wants, angle left, right, center, and still keep his guns on target. If I would have to categorize the Hatsuharu, what does it do well? What does it do poorly? Well, it has terrible range. The gun system traverse just wicked slow. It doesn't have enough torpedoes. It is a tier 6 that only has 6 total torpedoes. When you compare it to a Fubuki, who has 9, and others who have 8, or at the very least 6, with completely different gun systems that are just dwarf the Hatsuharu. But at least it has good AA, because that's really what I want in my Japanese destroyer. Yeah, it's not a fun ship. Not even for me. I love destroyers. I love them. But I can't lie to you. I don't play this crap. I move on. The Fubuki feels better. And even the Fubuki, the speed of the torpedoes, it's very easy for a player who has any knowledge of the game to maneuver away from it. And you're going to find that's going to happen all the time. So the Emerald is still roughly shadowing me. He did go back around the island and catch up. I don't know why he did that. But he's still firing on me. He's clearly either he's not comfortable with the Emerald, or he is distracted. I mean, he did start the game off AFK for a majority. I was able to get over to his base before he started moving. Maybe even he's a bot. I have no idea. But you wouldn't normally be 6 kilometers away and survive against a British cruiser. This is not a normal scenario. I'm not going to pass it up, though. I'm trying to use the guns as much as I can, set the target on fire, allow him to burn for an extended period of time, and are we going to run into an island? We're very close on the mini-map, but we're able to stay off it. Just barely. The enemy's very close. He's still not firing at me. This is not something I recommend. You will die if you get into a scenario 9 times out of 10. The Emerald is a superior ship to your Hatsuharu. But you can still be an objective controller. You can still scout the enemy. You have great concealment for your tier. You have your smoke charges. You can support your teammates. There's more ships that want to hide in smoke than ever before. And you'll find like me, I'm streaming. I'm having a lot of success if I just try to play a little bit more for the team than I would usually play. I see a friendly battleship has this guy distracted, so I'm going to engage him. As long as they're not firing at me, I can free fire. Plus, I still have my smoke if I really need it. But we're not really doing that much damage. It's just one of those things. It's like, Japanese, yeah. Oh, we're going to make the ship so much better. It's going to be a gun system. It's going to be more familiar. If you play an American or a Soviet, yeah, right. It feels so underwhelming. Until you get to the 6-gun format, the Shinono Mei, that feels good at tier 6. I really do appreciate having 6 guns and a slower rate of fire versus 4 guns and a faster rate of fire. It's sort of like the same reason why I dislike the Mutsuki. Having only 2 guns feels so crappy, even if they fire at the same rate as the equivalent 4 guns. The enemy Bayern is the only one left. He's able to sneak inside of my torpedoes. He's on fire. Multiple friendlies are engaging him, and we get the kill. Of course, we get the kill. Now, it's not an impressive game, but I wanted to give you my impression of this ship. I know there are many of you who are having difficulties in it. We got 2 kills, 1 torpedo strike, 74,000 points of damage done, 1,482 base XP. Damage is about where you expect it. I hope this was helpful. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.